Okay.
The reason why
What
the
is
book
it?
of Romans was written is because the Jews were kicked out of Rome for a period of like 3 years or 5 years or something by one of the emperors, and then they were allowed to come back. So during the time that the Jews lived in Rome, a whole bunch of Jews became Christians, and then a whole bunch of Gentiles became Christians through them. And so there was a church that was both Jew and Gentile. When the Jews got kicked out of Rome, that Gentile church continued operating, continued having leaders, continued evangelizing, continued praying together, continued teaching the faith, all these things. Then the Jews were allowed to come back to Rome. So now these Jewish believers in Christ were back. And this created a problem in the Roman Christian community of how the Jews were, how the Jews were going to be integrated back into the worshiping community in Rome, the church in Rome. And so St. Paul writes his epistle to the Romans, and it's a very unique epistle because the Rome is, by his own admission, the only church he writes to that he has not personally established himself. All the other churches he writes
Yeah.
to,
So,
he
but does
established
it
those
change
churches.
the
He's
message?
right. It absolutely changes the message because the point that St. Paul is driving at is about how to integrate the Jewish and Roman believers. So this is why Romans 1 starts out by concluding that Gentiles are under sin. Romans 2 demonstrates that Jews are under sin. And Romans 3 demonstrates that both Gentile and Jew being under sin, they need to be saved by the faith in Christ. So Romans
Yeah.
4, which you're quoting, and what you want to look at is Romans 4:5, which says, "But to him who does not work but believes on him who justifies the ungodly, his faith is accounted for righteousness."